And welcome to another edition of Gale Force Winds, right here at the Force-8 Hometown Edition on board HMCS Montreal in beautiful Greece, Suda Bay in the Mediterranean Sea. And what a privilege it is to talk to some Royal Canadian Navy sailors. So Darcy, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Sailor First Class Flynn. I'm a naval communicator here on HMCS Montreal. I've been in the Navy now for just under 6 years. And yeah, what else would you like to know about me?
So Darcy, where are you from?
Originally from Caledon Village, Ontario. I lived there for probably the better part of 25 years before I joined the Navy. I went to university at the University of Guelph, and I did a few jobs before I joined the military and ended up here.
Now, Darcy, Caledon is a beautiful part of our country. There's no doubt about it. Beautiful part of Ontario. Really quite, it's horse country right up there. But I don't see a lot of frigates up there, a lot of Navy in the area. What brought you here?
Well, I originally applied to join as combat arms officer positions in the Army.
Right.
But with my eyesight, I couldn't do any of them.
Right.
So I was given a few options, either look into LASIK and make a decision, or here's a list of jobs that you can do. And all the Navy jobs on that list were the ones that appealed to me. So I applied for a few of those and ended up with the naval communicator job.
That's fantastic. Darcy, what'd you study at Guelph?
Fine arts and art history.
Fine arts and art history.
Yes.
Again, I don't see the connection to becoming a naval communicator.
Are
Tell me
you a
about
musician
that.
by chance?
I am a musician.
Uh-huh.
I do play guitar and a few other instruments. I sing and whatnot. But I also had an interest in different communication methods in my art practice. So I think that sort of helped tie in some of the things that we do here.
Right.
Again, a leap from fine arts to the military is still rather strange, but I don't see them to be all that conflicting.
Is that right? I mean, I can tell I'm watching you as you speak. I mean, you're complex in the way that you're stitching all this together. Are you still playing music now? And is there a band on board?
I'm still playing music. I have my guitar on board. There's no established bands yet, but we have had a lot of talks about getting something together. There are a few guys that jam in the cave every few nights. But for me, it's mostly just about using it to relax on my time off. We have had discussions about doing some open mic stuff, so we'll see if that plays out.
I'm going to stay on the music theme for a second here, Darcy, if I could. Musically, what have been some of your big influences?
Oh, geez. Everything from John Mayer, Jack Johnson are some of the big ones I like to play and really fiddle around with. But anything that I can get my hands on that I can play acoustically is key. I do like to do the odd rap cover,
Right.
just something that people aren't expecting,
Right.
just to make them smile.
So, Darcy, aside from music now, what were your big influencers and motivators back there in Caledon?
That's hard to say. I mean, I've had a lot of people in my life that have sort of shaped who I've become. I mean, my dad's probably the primary one. He's one of these endless work types that likes to get things done and always has a list of things to do. And that's definitely rubbed off on me. If you know me in my personal life, I never seem to accomplish any of my tasks. But I think just all the people that I grew up with through the schooling system and some of my friends back home have really influenced me into who I've become today. And just they've really rubbed off on me personally.
Darcy, what's your favorite part of the Navy?
My favorite part of the Navy's got to be the travel.
Right.
It's a long time when you're at sea. There can be some very long days. It's extremely tiring and exhausting. 12-hour days, and hopefully you get 4 or 5 hours of sleep a day.
Right.
But once you get into foreign port and you get to see new places with the experience of the Navy being different than just any regular travel, you're not hopping off of a plane and booking into a hotel, renting a car and everything. You're typically on foot, maybe at a local hotel, really exploring the port and getting to know some of the people, because everybody wants to know who you are and what you're doing here.
So Darcy, how do you apply that fine arts degree and that musical background on board? I'm asking you what you do specifically on board, because I know we had to pull you out of a very secure space to have this conversation. Tell us what you do on board.
Well, so as a naval communicator, we are responsible for all the communications outside of the ship, specifically with other ships around us. So we have to set up all of our radio circuits for HF, UHF, VHF communications. We handle all sorts of cryptographic material to encrypt these conversations that we would have over the radio stations. We're also in charge of things like the internet and establishing those connections with satellites and anything else that has to do with the satellites between us and the shore units. We do also do legacy communications, so anything from flashing light Morse code to flag signal communication, and we have some sort of low-grade encoding methods to pass information between ships as well.
Can you actually mail a letter from the ship nowadays?
You can mail a letter.
Really?
That's not our
Wow.
department.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you want to get a message ashore through any other means, we could get
your
it there.
department.
We could get it there.
Well, listen, I mean, a complex warship like this does not function without good connectivity and communication. So your job is vital here. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. It's in the modern Navy, you really can't do much without the internet. You need to have that constant communication with other ships. But that said, there are times when we have to drop everything. We go completely dark, and it's up to the naval communicators to establish connections through other means, and,
Right.
and that's what we do.
Well, Darcy, that sounds fascinating. Tell me now, anybody back home you'd like to say hi to?
Yeah, absolutely. My mom and dad. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I'm
What are
alive.
their names?
Jackie and Paul.
Hi, Jackie. Hi, Paul.
My sisters, Kelly, Shannon, and Siobhan, and my nieces and nephews. I'm not going to name them because I'll probably embarrass myself and miss one, but we'll leave it at that. And yeah,
Well, that's wonderful. Another wonderful edition of Gale Force Winds, Force 8 Hometown Edition, right here on board HMCS Montreal. And I can tell you this, the world needs more HMCS Montreal, and Canada needs more Darcy Flynn. Thanks, Darcy.
thank you very much.
Thank you, Darcy.